Hi everyone, Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com, and I am so excited to share with you one of Stampin' Up's brand new products, Simply Pressed Clay. Now I have to be honest with you, when I saw clay in our new catalog I was like, but oh my gosh, when I started to play with this clay, I went crazy. I'm making flowers like I'm just insane. And they make the most gorgeous greeting cards. And the other great thing, they're very lightweight, so you don't have to worry about all the bulk like you might get with a button. So I'm going to share with you a lot of different ways to color and create your flowers. So let's get started. Well, first let's begin with the molds. You're going to get a set of two, and it's called the Buttons and Blossoms. There we go, Buttons and Blossoms mold. And then the clay itself comes in a little foil lined pouch, and it is an air dry clay, so make sure you zip that up when you're done. When you're about to start working with it. We don't want a big old lump of dried out clay. I'm going to go ahead and use the Blossom mold, and you're just going to tear off a piece. You know how most clay you have to work with it? Guess what? You don't have to work with this. You just stick it in the mold. You don't have to knead it and try to get all the little edges all smooth. You just don't. I love that. You want to put some clay into your mold to make sure you're nice and flat. If you have too much, just peel it off. I'm going to bring in a silicone mat. I found that to be a little bit easier when I go to release it. And I'm just going to give that a nice press. I'm just kind of flattening out the bottom. And then you can just kind of lift to release. Now, okay, you notice that didn't work. I have a feeling here in Oklahoma it is very high humidity today, and that is probably causing this problem, because I have had no problems being able to release that all week long until today. But I do know we're having a lot of humidity today. But the other way that you can pop it out is to just give this a little fold back. You just pull it out and just lay it there to dry. And let me tell you, I made about 10 of these yesterday, and I did. It took me about 3 minutes to make them. And so if it's coming out of the mold, doesn't want to work, no problem. Don't even knead it again. Just go press it back into the mold, smooth it out, and look, see, now it's just releasing great. And you can just lay those out on your silicone mat and let them dry. As I said, I made up a bunch of them yesterday, and I've just had them all just kind of drying here on my mat. And I did notice, again, because of humidity in Oklahoma, you might want to flip them over after about, 6 hours or so the bottoms can dry too. It really depends on your climate. But these are all good and dry, and I just take them and I just keep them in a bag. So when I need a flower, I'm always ready to go. But now we want to color them, right? I mean, white flowers, hello, boring. Let's make them look awesome. So I'm going to share with you some different ways to color the flowers. The first thing I want to show you is the three ways of just using Stampin' Up ink. So that would be an ink pad, a marker, or re-inker. So the first one, let me show you the Real Red ink pad. I'm going to do them all in Real Red so you can see the contrast between all three. So I'm just going to take one of the flowers and my Real Red ink pad. Before I start, I do need to let you know, this is the new Firm Foam pad. These are the ink pads that Stampin' Up introduced last year. This is the only technique, or this is the only way, the only pad that this technique will work. So if you're still using the old pads, I wouldn't recommend this. You're not going to get that nice cush that these spongier ink pads have. So you see, I'm just giving that a press down on my ink pad. And there we go. Now I'm going to get a little messy, so you're just going to have to bear with me. But then I can just take it and dab that to get down into those corners, into those little creases. Of course, you're going to do that and get everything all nicely creased. Another way that you can do it is with a marker. And this technique takes just a little bit longer, but for many people it could just be really, really convenient. Also great if you're still using the felt type pads, since you wouldn't have an option. So you can see, you can color and you can get down into all the little creases. So using a marker is another great way. But my favorite way of doing it is with the re-inkers, and let me show you this. I'm going to bring in one single drop, and I mean the smallest drop you can. Boop. I told you I meant small. It really does not take much. I'm then going to come in with an aqua painter, and I want to make sure it's just barely damp. And I'm going to pick up that re-inker and watch this. I'm just going to paint it on. Pick up the last of that, and I can get down into all those grooves just beautifully. Check it out. Now, that one is a little bit light. If I had I really did add just a tiny bit of re-inker. I may have needed just a tad more. Let's try that one. Oh, there we go. See, that's what I was shooting for. So I can just make that as dark or as light as I need. And then at this point, I can let that dry. And let me come in and show you what they look like when they're all dry. And they really are beautiful. This is my re-inker, this is my ink pad, and this one is with my marker. Honestly, I really can't tell a whole lot of a difference. So whichever way works best for you is going to be a great way to really color and make those flowers pop. Now, another technique that I'm absolutely nuts over, and let me bring this in so you can see it, is embossing. You can see I've got a great shine on my flowers, and this technique is so easy. I'm going to take one of my dried, my flowers, just plain and white and dry, and I'm going to bring in a Versamark pad and some clear embossing powder. Oh, I didn't get it. Oh, no, I'm not going to use clear. Duh, I'm going to use Melon Mambo. I wanted it colored. So I'm going to come in with my Melon Mambo embossing powder, and you can do clear too. And let me show you. Oh, I thought I had one of those somewhere. Maybe I don't. Well, it's beautiful too. Okay, so I'm going to take this plain white flower, and I'm pressing it down into my ink, my Versamark pad. I'm going to take a paper piercer, and you notice I'm kind of coming at an angle. I don't want to accidentally poke through that. And I'm just going to dip that down into my embossing powder, tap it off, and then you're going to come in with your heat tool and just heat set that. Now, if you've got some little spots that you missed, not a problem. You can go in and you can actually, even while it's hot, a lot of times you can get back in there and reset that. And you can see it's just stunning. Another way that you can emboss is you can take that plain white flower and you can dip it into the iridescent ice and emboss it. And let me show you what that looks like. There's one and there's the other. So what I've got here, this is just a plain white flower with iridescent ice, and this was one that I had colored beforehand and added that. So I thought that was just a beautiful look as well. Silver was different. Now, there's one more way you can color your clay. It's not my favorite technique, and that is adding re-inker directly to the clay. It is messier, and that is exactly 1 drop of re-inker. So you can see I'm getting so much more ink coverage when I just take a white flower and use my re-inker on it versus adding the re-inker to the clay. It is a good technique and might work better for what you need. But as I said, I just really liked the great detail that I got from that one. All right, I think I have covered everything I know about clay, and I hope you have a wonderful time playing with this new technique and just enjoying all the fun. Oh, hey, how about a card? How about a card so you can see how beautiful it looks on a card? Look at that. It looks like this beautiful coastal cabana. I'll get it right. You can tell we're in new colors, boy, and I got to remember them all. But I got that great coastal cabana flower there on this really great wedding card. And like I said, very lightweight, so I don't have to worry about, this weighing down my card. I'm going to have to put $45 postage on it just to send it through. So, well, there you go, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in to today's video on Simply Pressed Clay. I hope you get a chance to try that, and be sure to order your clay and your molds at simplysimplestamping.com. You know we're always here for you. So have a great day, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Go get that clay and play. Bye-bye.